United Union International Officer and Freedom for Ocalan Campaign co-director Clare Baker. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you. So let's start with the latest developments, latest invasion attacks of Turkey to the Medya defense zones. So how would you going to evaluate that? How would you going to comment on that very short, very briefly, first of all?
Well, I mean, I think that Turkey is using the fact that the eyes of the world are elsewhere at the moment, concentrating on Ukraine, in order to make their latest incursions into northern Iraq and northern Syria, and obviously this is in a run up to the Turkish elections as well. So it's a very dangerous time for the people who live across the border of Turkey, and it's absolute paramount that we give them full solidarity and full support in the weeks and days to come.
Thank you. The second issue that needs to be underlined is the relation between KDP, Barzani family, and Turkey, as well as the UK government as well. Do you think there is some agreements behind the doors and it reflects these attacks against Kurdish people on the northern Iraq, as the Mesut Barzani was visiting PM Boris Johnson a couple of days ago, as well as the President Erdogan as well. So do you think there is any relation of these attacks?
I'm sure that there is relations between those attacks and his visits to Erdogan and to Boris Johnson. But what we would really call for is unity amongst the Kurdish people, and not to allow the likes of Erdogan to cause inter-community strife and inter-community fighting, and not to allow Erdogan to use the Barzani and the government of the Kurdish area of northern Iraq against other Kurdish people.
Another significant issue is about chemical weapons. Since last year, the chemical weapons allegations are still on, that Turkey is using these weapons against even the civilians in the villages as well. So, in the latest attacks, last couple of days, Turkey has raised up the chemical weapon usages. What is your comment about that? Do you think especially the institutions like OPCW have to go to the region to make these researches? How would you going to comment on all these?
Well, these reports of chemical weapon attacks are really, really serious, and should be taken as really serious by the international community. They need to be thoroughly investigated by the international community. And if Turkey has been found, and there's evidence there that they have used chemical weapons, then the international community should act accordingly, and not just brush that under the carpet. But they need to go in there and they need to do proper investigations to see whether or not that has actually happened.
Is there any way to explain the relation of labeling the PKK as a terrorist organization and trying to keep the PKK in that list, and Turkey's latest attacks? Do you think Turkey is hiding behind of this labeling of the PKK, using it as an excuse to carry on these attacks?
Well, we see within Turkish society as a whole that the label of terrorist or terrorism is used against anybody who holds Erdogan's government to account, who stands up for freedom, for peace. We're seeing trade unionists put in jail, put on trial with the label terrorism or trying to overthrow the state. So, yes, I think that Turkey uses the battle against terrorism in order to cover up any kind of actions it wants to do within society itself, within Turkish society itself, and also over its borders.
Thank you. Lastly, what needs to be done to stop Turkey's these war crimes and humanity crimes? What else needs to be done to stop that war?
I think it's very simple. What needs to be done is what hasn't been done, which is holding Turkey to account by the international community. Turkey is let off the hook over and over and over again for many crimes. The way that they've treated Abdullah Öcalan, is against international law. It's against Turkish domestic law. The way that they've systematically cut human rights within Turkey. None of this is Turkey is not held to account on any of this within the international community. You've got the refugee crisis, which Turkey basically holds the European Union, that blackmails the European Union and gets money off the European Union to so-called look after these refugees, and yet everyone turns a blind eye to all of the atrocities that the Turkish state commit. So I think that it has to be the EU, the UK government, the US need to hold Turkey to account for all the crimes that it is and has committed.
Dear Clare Baker, United Union International Officer and Freedom for Ocalan Campaign Co-Director, thanks for joining us. Thank you for your valuable comments today.
Thanks very much, Erem.
Thank you.